Hi everyone. So this is a little screencast to sort of give you a visual in addition to the directions for online module number 2. Um, some good advice is to start early and also make sure that you are probably on a desktop computer, maybe in one of the computer labs on campus, because you're going to have several windows open at the same time. And so it'll be hard to do on a tablet or on your phone or on a smaller screen. So that's my advice, and let's get started. So here we are on our website, and I've opened up the resources for online module number 2. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you open the directions and the template. Okay, so this is what the template looks like. You want to make sure you fill in your name, the date, the course, and the instructor. That would be me, Dr. Marks. So activity 1 we've already talked about in class, and over here in the directions you want to click on this link, the test of Franzapanics, take the test, and then after you take the test, click on the link for the answers, look at the answers and analyze the answers. Why are they right? Why are they the correct answers? And then what you'll do from there is you're going to write a reflection on the validity of this test. And your text talks about what makes something valid. So if you haven't read that chapter yet, make sure you go back and do that. All right, so number 2. Number 2 can be a little confusing. The template is where you're going to do all your work, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to be using this guideline to critique a standardized test in your content area. So here's an example. If I click the elementary education one, for the sake of time I already have it open, this is what it looks like. It's a PDF. And so I'm going to scroll down to see the actual test. This is just sort of the explanation of the test. So here's the actual test with the questions. Here are the directions and the questions. And you can see it's quite lengthy, and you'll probably want to sort of look through it when you're giving it an evaluation. So what you'll do is you'll look over here to the template and you'll say to yourself, okay, does the test keep the wording simple and focused? Does it aim for a reading level that matches most challenged readers? Now this is supposed to be for 4th grade, so you have to think about what would maybe a 2nd or 3rd grader be able to read and understand. So if yes, that you feel like they are keeping the wording simple and focused and it's at the appropriate reading level, then what you'll do is you'll choose a highlight. Any color is fine. And you'll highlight that. So then you go to the next one. Do they ask a question? What is shown in the diagram below? Which list below shows how energy moves in a food chain? So all of these are questions, and you might say to yourself, okay, these are good questions. So I'm going to highlight that. Now the next one you'll go to and you'll say, okay, so do they avoid providing clues within and between items? And you may look at this and say, oh no, these are worded in such a way that there are clues in here. And I say, think of the Franzapanic test that you just took. So if they don't avoid providing clues within the items, don't highlight it. And if you want to write some comments, you can do so in another color ink. And you can say, the questions are very easily guessed with context clues. Okay, and then you move on to the next one. So you look over the test and you say, is the correct answer obvious without mastering the material, or are all of the answers close and make good sense so that you have to know the content? If yes, then you'll highlight it. If no, then you're going to not highlight it, but maybe give me a little explanation. Oh, a lot of the questions, it's really obvious. You don't have to write these comments if you don't want to. That's just up to you. So when you're finished going through all of these criteria and your test, make sure that you look over the whole test. you'll be able to sort of have a snapshot of if your assessment that you were looking at is quality or not. If it has a lot of things highlighted, then that means, hey, it had a lot of these important criteria. It's a good assessment. If you only have a couple of highlights and a lot of comments, then that tells you that it's a very weak assessment and that it was missing a lot of these criteria that are important for validity and reliability. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is about what type of rubric it is. So if you go to Activity 3, you want to open the folder with rubric examples, and you'll see there's 10 of them, and they align to this little chart that you're going to work in. So let's open number 1 and do it together. This is example 1. So I'm going to look at this rubric. Now, after you read the text, you'll know what a task-specific rubric or a general rubric looks like. So you'll look at this rubric, you'll read it over, and you'll say, it seems like this kind of rubric, and you'll write it right here. So you might write it's a task-specific rubric. And you'll do that for each one of these examples. So then you'll open the second example, and you'll say, let's see, what does this look like? Does this look like a task-specific or a general rubric? And if you think this is a general rubric, then you'll write general. Okay, whoops. So that's how you do number 3. And you'll do all 10 of these. Just look them over. Again, task-specific or general rubrics is covered in your text. Okay. Activity 4. So we're going to look at the directions. Oops, we don't need that anymore. Briefly define and explain how you would use a task-specific or general rubric in your context. So this is just going to be a narrative right here. And you're going to begin with, I would use a general rubric in art. And then you would explain it. Okay, so you'll have 2 paragraphs, one for the general and one for the task-specific rubrics. Okay. So now we're on to the last activity. The last activity is about authentic assessment. And so what you'll do is you'll open this link, which is a really great link for you to open and for you to have as you create your own rubrics. So when you open it up, you'll see there's all of these authentic tasks and rubrics. So you'll pick the one that's closest to your content area, say elementary math, and you want to pick a rubric. See the rubrics here? I'm just going to pick the number representation rubric. Okay, here's the rubric. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to sort of reverse what we did up here. Now I'm going to use the rubric for rubric analysis form that I've already put here for you. And you're going to give it a rating, 1 to 10. And you're going to give me a rationale for that rating. So the first thing you're going to look at, does it cover the right content? What it's supposed to cover? Give it a number, 6. And then I want you to say why you gave it a 6. Well, it doesn't really cover what it says. It doesn't have enough details. That's what you're going to put here. Okay? So you're going to do each of these the same way. Is the criteria organized? Let's look at it and see. Are the number of levels that fit the targets and the uses? Are the levels well defined? Are they parallel? Okay, so that's all you'll do here is you're going to look at the organization and coverage and the clarity of the rubric. If you need more examples for the rubric of rubrics, I have it in the resource file here. So if you want to open that one, you can, and it's right here. Rubric for rubrics. So when you open that up, you want to make sure you look it over and it tells you exactly what to look for. So read this first. Okay, and then you'll go and do your evaluation. So everything you need is right here in the folder, and just follow the template step by step. I hope that this was helpful for you. It's due Friday evening, and you will save this template. Online module number 2 template, and you can just put your name in the beginning if you want here, and then upload it to the As You Learn link. Okay? If you have any questions, I know it's a lot, so make sure you start early, but if you have any questions, just contact me and I'll get back to you right away. I'm hoping next week we'll get together to see each other face to face, and we'll sort of answer any questions and then move forward from there. Have a good week.